Welcome to the Newfangled Workshop Podcast. Before we get into it, let's hear a little disclaimer.
The views expressed here are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of the United States Military Academy, the United States Army, or the Department of Defense.
All right, recording is up and running on this computer, so I'll send you a local file tomorrow. Stephen, thank you for publishing so quickly with the files we sent you last time. We had two episodes drop very, very quickly, and that was spectacular. I had lunch with one of our listeners today, and he was raving about our content. So shout out to Chad. One of our
Wait, like raving mad like a dog who's
No. He said he loved the conversation, and he was
okay. Not to insult any of our listeners, of course. Both listeners, please keep listening.
That's right. Chad, Wynn, we appreciate you.
Yeah, exactly. Sister, thank you.
Shout out to Adam as well. So there's another shout out. All right, there it is. So Stephen, this is your podcast this evening. I think we're going to pitch it over to you, and you can decide when to start.
Yeah, it's our podcast. Let's get started. Yay. Tonight's topic, I thought, hey, we all have to lean out and do a little YouTube video now and then to learn something, to operate a tool. And it's funny because, in some of our roles as teachers, instructors, professors, we got to be one step ahead of the students, right? I can remember, here's an example. I was going to a Boy Scout meeting, and I was an adult leader for the Boy Scouts, and I needed, 6 things to do that night and have, some primary things and some backup things. And here I am on ChatGPT, 10 minutes before the meeting. Give me a list of, 10 different activities I can do with no preparation and no additional tools, right? And it spit out, a list of 20 things. And I picked 5 or 6 out of it that worked out. So,
freshman year, here I come, baby.
Well, I can relate. My daughter is first year, 8th grade civics teacher in the county, right? And, so every day of her life for the first year is that, I got 10 minutes to get to class. I got put together. She's a little better than I am. And she gets ahead of it a little better, but still, you're dealing with the personalities and the
Well, as a teacher, you have to be like, sure, that's the flag of Maine. I knew that.
We always say you have to be just, one lecture ahead, right? So
Yeah.
I just have to be one lecture ahead of the kids.
Yeah, so that was in the spirit of that sort of thing, like, hey, I got to get up on my next project. I was thinking about what was the last one or a memorable time that you need to lean on the YouTube to learn about a tool or a process in the workshop or something like that. So whoever wants to get started can go ahead and get started. Led definitely has an idea. I can see.
Yeah, I actually haven't leaned on YouTube yet, but I'm going to. So I know that before I operate this thing the first time, I'm pretty sure this is called a doweling jig. And you can see the dowels up in the top right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the classic, oh, sure, I know how to work this. You turn this thing and you grab the board and then you drill through these holes with a drill. And I'm pretty sure that at least part of those details, I'm close, and I might be mostly right, but there might be, I don't know, a lubricant that you're supposed to be using, or the way you mark it might have to be a particular way, or something about squareness, because I also have these dowels, right? So I got doweling tool and dowels, and I'm looking forward to doweling some stuff. And I am sincerely curious what size hole I should drill for my dowels, which are, I got a 5/16 dowel. Do I drill a 5/16 hole? Do I drill a 1/4 inch hole? What about oak or pine? All of Matthew's shaking his head. See, right? So already.
You need a mallet? How big a mallet do you need to smash the dowel into the hole?
Yeah, right. And, do I just use the same size hole as the dowel and then just hit it harder, right? So I know that there's somebody who's done this, a very good friend of mine, another professor, said that somewhere in Idaho is a dude, and this dude works for like Orida, and he knows exactly how hard you can hit a potato with a slicing knife, like what speed you can hit it with, because he's trying to make 10,000 French fries a minute. And so how fast can the knife work before the potato is mashed instead of sliced? And YouTube is like that. There's like one dude out there who's done that thing. And if you can find that guy, he's like, yeah, when you use the Dowling rig, especially the old American brand, you're going to find that if you're 1/64th bigger, your dowels are all going to be perfect and you're not going to split your oak or ruin your life or end up screaming into the night, like because of that 1/64. Like that dude exists. That person is out there on the internet somewhere. I'm going to find that person and I'm going to obsess about it. I'm going to spend 2 days instead of experimenting myself as I would have done in the 1980s or 90s. Instead, I will spend 2 days obsessing about finding just the perfect YouTube video. That's like 4 pages back on Google. I've now taken to skipping completely the first page that Google presents me. So Google says, okay, here's page 1 from your search. I skip it immediately. Just because that makes life so much more interesting. Like your life gets way more interesting if you just skip the first page in Google. So
That is not what my search engine optimization friends tell me.
well, your search optimization friends are trying to sell me stuff.
So, okay, I want to go off on a tangent that you brought up. As an academic, I want to recommend you a book by the name Morgan Spurlock wrote a book, I think, called Fast Food Nation.
I know of the book. I know.
Yeah.
I haven't read it, but I know of it.
Okay, so they talk about out in Idaho at the plant where they're making the 1,000,000 pounds of potatoes a day, right? They don't actually use a knife. What they do is they have sharp blades set up. The potatoes dance around in water on these giant water conveyor belts, and then they get up and they use a fire hose to shoot the potato into the stationary knives, and they just fire the potato across the knife sets.
Yeah,
Right.
and I'm sure that there's been a study on exactly how fast the potato should be going when it hits the knives.
100%. And so you don't want disintegration. You want cutting. So you don't, if you go too fast, it's just going to, the potato will explode. So he's got a whole chapter in there on Simplot out in Idaho, and it's super amazing. So highly recommend. The Dalmax is what I believe you're actually holding there.
This tool is called the original Dowlet.
Okay.
Self-centering dowel.
Yeah.
This is not an advertisement
Yeah.
for Dowlet.
So,
for making precision dowel holes.
okay, so one of the things you have to know is that if you're going to use a solid-sided dowel or if you're going to use a fluted side slotted, right? So are there slots?
To me, like I bought fluted ones.
Yeah.
They got little grooves in them, if that's what you mean.
No,
Spiral.
those are spiral. Those are not fluted. Fluted would be if they went at a 90-degree.
IKEA.
Oh, these are for holding glue. I think that's for holding the glue, is what that little spiral's for.
That is exactly what it's for. So you have to know the outside dimension of that spiral, and then the pockets in the middle are for where the glue squeeze is going to go, because the glue does take up space, and both your piece and the dowel will expand when you hit it with the glue, because right, they're wood and they've been dried, and when you hit with moisture, swelling happens, and so you have to expect those pieces to swell up, and the glue needs a place to go. If Steven's doing CNC work and he wants to do what's called a V-carve inlay, you have to leave a pocket at the bottom for the glue to go into. Yeah, if you don't have right.
So if I'm making 1950s furniture, you're telling me I can have really swell joints.
Yeah, they'll be super swell. You'll be swole. You'll be super swole by the time you're done. Right? That'd be great. So what you want to do, there's a process. I think you're aware of this process in metalworking known as reaming. Right? Do you know the process of reaming?
Sure.
So when you drill your drill in, don't just do it one time. Like take the drill in and out several times. I want to take the drill, put the drill in.
What's a hammer for then? Why did you even buy a hammer?
So you get a little sloppy with the drill to expand the size of the hole, only minutely. But if you just run the drill in and out several times, you will make the hole slightly bigger.
Okay, now I have to actually admit the tool that I did have to go and like seriously YouTube it, and that's So I've been building bridges with my students for a while, and we've started building steel bridges, which was kind of a change for me. I'd been mostly a carpenter, doing I had done some light gauge metal work back in my armoring days, but I hadn't really done any heavy duty steel structural construction myself. I'd designed some stuff or whatever, but I'd never actually gone out and messed around with it myself. It turns out that there's these super powerful drill presses that are magnetic that like clamp onto the steel,
Mag drill.
but they're giant and super heavy. And once they clamp on, like it's an issue getting the thing back off of there. And how fast should you advance the holes? What kind of hardness should you use for your bits? So I did find YouTube really super helpful for that tool, making sure I had the right hardness bits for the type of steel I'm drilling, advance rates. Should I be drilling a 1/4 inch hole, then a 3/8 hole, then a 1/2 inch hole, or can I go quarter, then half, without going the intermediate 3/8, that kind of stuff.
Don't they have the step drill bits, right? Like the little like pyramid looking
Oh,
guy.
not for what
They
Matt's
do.
doing.
They do. I would definitely have to YouTube that thing. I don't know what that's about.
So usually that's for smaller projects like go-karts and
Yeah.
file cabinets, stuff like that, a step drill.
Yeah.
If you're doing like a structural steel or something that's like a 1/4 inch or in that neighborhood, you're going to use a little bit more robust of a drilling
Sure.
system. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like you were able to get up to speed watching a couple YouTube guys.
Yeah. And so what I learned mostly is that you should always buy drill bits that have a picture of a laser. Like it's got a picture of a laser on it. That's your drill bit right there because it's like a laser.
Oh,
That's funny. My buddy he did a lot of muffler work, and he's like, the Diablo. You got to get the Diablo blades.
Because it's like the devil himself is cutting the metal.
They make good blades.
They
they
do.
they do. They do.
I'm all about the solves all. You don't solve some, you solve all.
Yeah.
Love it. Favorite a favorite tool. A favorite tool.
We got to talk about Brad Point bits, right? There's like the little spears on the outside to do the initial cutting. We can really get into the drill bit if you
Right. And if you went on YouTube, you could find some people who were ready to talk about that for hours. So
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. Really, I do. Like somebody puts up a video of, oh, here's how you change the oxygen sensor on the backside of, a 2002 Yukon, and you got to use a 9/16 wrench and you're reaching down in there and you're like, okay, good thing I know what wrench to use or else, anyway, I love those people. God bless you one and all.
So
Awesome.
the course I'm teaching right now, the workforce development course, has a little bit of the National Manufacturing Tool Association. That no sponsorship. We are not affiliated with. um,
Do they work with Dowlett?
they have 2 chapters on twist drill bits, right?
Chapters.
2 chapters talking about the chisel tip, the landing, the body, just all the component pieces of a twist drill bit, right?
Yeah.
The bevel, the chisel at the front, the front end of it. It's really fascinating. It's fascinating. And yeah, so there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Matt, you want to give us your topic?
So we talked about, if you go back to episode 4 or 5, we talked about CNCs a little bit. Getting up to speed on that, I watched a couple hours of a couple of guys teaching me how to use VCarve, which was the software. And so I had to learn about like tool paths and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I learned inside of there. But just watching them walk through a project at a very basic level was really good for understanding stuff. You're talking about the bits, and I'm used to a traditional router and a router table, right? But now you've put it on the gantry and you're moving it around. There's a whole new set of bits to learn, right? That like aren't like, so I'm used to like, oh, here's your roundover bit, right? Here's your OG bit, or like if you put these two together, you get this cool Roman OG thing where it's like offset angles and stuff, right? This
And a
required,
bearing, and you have
yeah,
a bearing.
yeah, and then so there's the pattern bit versus the flush trim bit, right? And how you rock the route. So I'm very familiar with that part, but going to the CNCs, I had some issues understanding things like spiral downcut versus spiral upcut. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's this other new fancier one called the compression bit that's
Yep.
actually both. It cuts up and down at the same time and pushes all the material into the middle of the bit.
Yep.
Right. And so it's supposed to be the best of both. And then you have to learn about whether it's a single flute, and then there's the spirals. And now there's this other one. We're getting into aluminum, and we're having to do with O flute bits, right? And so O
Mm-hmm.
flute bits are like this oval shape that's offset. So it's kind of scooping out material instead of like
Mm-hmm.
super interesting. And so I turned to YouTube to master that software a little bit. Um, but what I will say is what I've been impressed by is not what YouTube has done for me, but what YouTube does for my students in the makerspace. They're able to catch up to me very like I've got 20
So
years of
fast.
experience, and they're able like, hey, let's go build a crosscut sled. And they're like, I don't know what that is. And I was like, oh, well, your homework tonight is go watch a couple YouTube videos. And then they come back and they're having like advanced level conversations with me about crosscut sleds now because they watched a couple of
Oh.
YouTube videos. I don't know how much they totally I like the word grok. I don't know how much they actually grok the crosscut sled because they still get confused when we go to work on it. But they've got a vocabulary that YouTube has helped them accelerate.
Yeah.
And so I think that YouTube, I also think in the homeowner space, not just in the tool space or in the making space, but as a homeowner, when your furnace goes out, like there's some dude at 3 in the morning, you just pull up YouTube and like, what do I do when the fire won't come on in the pilot light? Or like, what's the right process for this? Somebody will explain it. If you can write the right prompt, there are videos to help you understand what to do. So it's more than just the tooling part. When I order a new tool, I ordered a new bandsaw last summer that I'm still very much like, my new favorite tool. Um, but like the week that it took for it to get here, all I was doing was watching assembly videos. Like I must have watched 14 assembly videos about what to do when my bandsaw arrived, so that when it got here, I could run out to the shop and start being productive with my new toy
Nice.
because I've watched so many videos about what to do.
Nice. Nice.
So, Stephen,
There's
is
another factor with the grok factor that I see often around the makerspace. Makerspace is very much hobbyists, right? Who are
yes,
enthusiastic and they want to get into a community workshop. And they're starting to watch the same videos. Like they run into a problem, say Thursday night, right?
yep,
It's Thursday night when we record this, and they both go, "I don't know how that left-handed widget works." So they both go home and like, "Did you watch Little Joe's workshop? And did you watch Mary Jane and her apron? Yeah, I like Mary Jane because she explains it a little better.
yeah. She
So
was
they're
more of my
they're watching the same videos and comparing notes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mary Jane is my speed. Like she's the one who knows what. Like I liked her. The other guy, he was going too fast, and I couldn't really follow what he was saying.
Yeah, but I see that a lot. I mean, almost daily at the maker space where people are talking about whether it's 3D printing or CNC or even woodworking, just regular old woodworking.
Yep.
Hmm.
I like that.
So, Stephen, what's been your experience with like? Has there been did you have to read up on like taking apart your hoverboard? Like, what was the thing that you had to watch up
No,
on?
mine was simple. I mean, so mine was more a pedestrian, I guess, is what I would say. I mentioned I'm teaching this class. One of the chapters we're teaching about is non-precision and precision measurement. Right? And so you're talking about scales, and this mainly metal shop, traditional machine shop, right? So metal scales, a dial caliper, digital caliper, and then micrometer, and then you get into the gauge blocks and the dial indicators and the
Star it.
height measure. What?
Star it.
Star it. Oh, dude, they make some. There, yeah. This is sponsored by Star It. I can wear a tuxedo now.
Fancy. I'm fancy.
When we talk about precision measurements, we're talking about star it.
Oh, one of the guys in the lab, one of my good friends, uh, whenever he picks up a Starlet tool, he like points it out to everybody.
Oh, yeah,
This is,
sure.
this is the Cadillac of tools.
Okay, now if
Uh,
you only want to go halfway to start, you can get woodpeckers, right?
Oh yeah, a couple of guys over in the wood shop side have the woodpecker
Yeah,
templates and the gate. Yeah,
yeah. Um,
they're cool tools. Cool tools.
very, very.
But this was simple for me. The micrometer was getting me. Like I didn't quite know all the details of operating a micrometer, reading the vernier. I'd never read the vernier on a caliper before,
Hold
right?
your pinky out when you say vernier.
Yeah.
The vernier, my boy. The vernier.
Exactly. So it was just, brushing up on that, and I had to pick out the book for that, the video for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a company I've been looking at recently. I think I might actually want to get one of their things. In the CNC world, there's this thing you have to do to your machine called tramming. And this is when you want to talk about your micrometer and like you're off by two, three thousandths of an inch. Um, they make this dial indicator at Stupid Simple Tools that has two dial indicators on it that are on a shaft that you put it, so you mount it into the router, right? And it's got two dial indicators on either side. And as you rotate it around, it'll tell you if the router is out of square, right? And this is the tramming peak. So is your router out of square? And as it rolls around, is your flattening blade going to leave grooves because it's actually flattening at a, 1/10 of a hundredth of a thousandth of an inch off angle
It's
kind
more
of
of a
stuff.
terrace than a flattening.
Sure. So the Stupid Simple Tools is the two dial indicators mounted on a quarter-inch shank or a half-inch shank that you can put in your router to see if your router is actually running true to the flat surface on your wasteboard.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Stupid Simple Tools, stare it is amazing stuff, but little pricey
Yeah.
for me. Um,
No, not
so
for Led's mega lab.
so lead.
When you have a mighty lab, you need mighty tools.
Okay, so back to the YouTube question. An example of a YouTube thing, Steven got me into building a robot over the pandemic. So this is 5 years ago now. I wanted to build a little Raspberry Pi, little yellow TT motors, and make it all run around. And I had never played with a voltometer, right? So one of my soldering kit came with a meter, and so it had little prong, and I could like measure stuff, and to see if I had gotten connectivity. And I had no idea what to do with them. And Steven walked me through it a little bit, right? And that was great, but I didn't feel like I had, grokked it yet. So I went on and watched some YouTube videos to get up to speed on where do you put the dial on the multimeter to be able to test for the connectivity of the thing. And so YouTube, even 5 years ago, was spectacular for that.
Yeah, and plus, why talk to real people when you can talk
No,
to
no,
YouTube? Like you
Steven,
can just like zip right over them. I don't have to listen to all of that
no,
nonsense. I just
we,
grab
we,
that thing and go to minute
we were,
2.5 where I see the hump in the listeners, and I'm like, oh, go right there. Just listen to that
no,
3 seconds
no,
worth,
no.
and like, oh boy.
This is what we talked about last time is how long do you wait until you engage the real person, right? Like how long will you fight? How long will you fight? This was our topic last time and it was spectacular.
Well, so I would say that I hadn't really put it together, but an interesting thing is how the younger generation, my kids who are 20-ish, watch TV, right? I mean, it's not like us, like sort of on demand, the dishwasher broke, we have to fix it, we need the YouTube video, right? It's more like they're just for entertainment, they're in the same mode, just fishing for that next content,
Yeah.
right? And it's not appointment viewing, it's just, hey, Mr. Beast dropped a new content, can I go
Yes.
watch that?
Well, so
Yeah.
how many have you done some of the 3D printing videos where they just show you this, the accelerated, I'm forgetting the word for it right now, the stop motion,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Right of them doing the 3D printing. And some of that stuff is just mesmerizing. Some of the process stuff. I love some of the videos in that space. Some of the videos of just like crazy machines in the manufacturing world that are bending wires or that are
I
just
like the log cutting ones. Anybody
yeah,
ever watch all the forestry machinery? They got
it's
some crazy machine and it like grabs a tree and like oh, takes all the limbs
Oh, the
off.
grouper puncher. Yeah, that guy is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just that's a
And I think
victory. That's a victory of horsepower right there.
I think yeah, I think the algorithms got me because I get those same videos like the welding videos or the guy turning a bowl with acrylic in it or
yep,
epoxy in it or
yep,
something.
yep.
Like,
So
and I always love the barefoot guy from Indonesia, right? Who's got like, like a little welding mask and probably shorts and a tank top, right? And he's, going after anyhow.
Yeah, and he makes something. It's like, and I'm going to make a server farm from scratch with this welding torch and this one piece of and my tank top. And you look at when they're done, and you're like, holy, what did you
now,
just do?
now, Led tells a story that I'll get him to tell here. You went to Morocco and you were building some kind of battering ram or something like
I
this,
was, I
and
was.
and you needed something welded in the field, and some guy went over and dug a hole in the sand and like put together a blast furnace for you or something.
Yeah, yeah. So we had this we had this a really skilled forger, and I don't mean forging like checks or something. I mean like he was a steel forger named Haj, and this guy was really good at what he did. And he was part of the support crew, because this was a Discovery Channel thing. So he wasn't like an on-screen personality. He just was a guy who could get a forge running in the field with a like a leaf blower and some clay. Like he was a pretty skilled dude. We also had a guy with us named Tom Trozak, who's I think still bending metal down in North Carolina somewhere. And the combination of his like scientific and sort of brute force approach and Haj's really awesome knowledge of how to do a whole lot with just a very few basic resources. It was really crazy to watch that collaboration and how much they were able to produce. It was pretty cool. They built a giant like the head of the battering ram had horns on it, like these big ram horns, so that it kind of looked like a ram head. So I think the head was about 900 pounds or 1,200 pounds or something like that. And then the big horns had been forged in this forge. It was pretty cool. I made a lot of the parts for that ram just with a oxyacetylene torch. The ye old oxyacetylene torch, right? Cutting steel plate and making holes and cutting fasteners and connectors and stuff like that. When you do a big steel frame or a big timber frame, the number of fasteners multiplies very quickly. And you end up with very big numbers of custom parts that are necessary to bolt something together.
Could you do it with a dowlet?
No, I don't think so. I think that's more a furniture thing. I'm actually, I hate to say it, but I'm so intrigued by this tool that I'm at the point where I'm like, I got to come up with a project that needs dowel.
Okay, now here, so Led, you can also find videos about the strength of the different joints and whether a dowel or a loose tenon or a fixed tenon or just a simple butt joint, like they'll do the stress test where they take the machine and they're pulling it apart, right? And how many pounds feet does it take to rip apart the joint?
That's probably got that
Matthew,
machine.
I don't need an expert to tell me that the very best joints are made with dowlet. It's dowlet.
All right, now I'm going to circle back for our viewing audience. I'm going to do a little production work here. Here's the production work, which is, hey, I sent you guys a thing. Have either of you tried it yet?
Oh
I
yeah.
did.
No. I took it to the workshop but didn't use it.
Or have you taken it out of the sleeve yet to
I
feel?
did.
And you
It's
can,
it
go
comes
ahead.
square. It doesn't come with a burl.
No, it's supposed to be pre-sharpened. It was prepared.
It's pre-squared.
It's supposed to have a prepared edge that has the little tiny burl on the end. If you take your fingernail and you run your fingernail on the very end of the thing, it
I'll
should
be
be
right back.
okay. Go get it.
Okay, here we go.
Led, while he's getting it, did you try yours out?
So, did I touch a piece of wood with it for like 1/10 of 1 second? Yes. Have I actually tried it on a real project yet? No.
But did
It's
it work?
winter time.
Did it work?
Yeah, it's a cool thing. Obviously I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube videos on it and see like exactly how best to optimize your planer thing there. But I like it. It looks pretty quick. That's what
It is.
and
And so
I
what?
think for preparing surfaces for painting, which is
Yes.
probably going to make you crazy to hear that that's what I would use it for. But to
I,
like quickly prepare a wall for painting, I think that could be a really neat tool.
so it's great to getting down into corners and crevices and stuff. I'm fine with paint. Paint is not as evil as stain. I think that staining is. I don't know why anybody does that. I'm for either clear coat or paint.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
anti-stain. I think rubbing mud all over your project to change its color is a terrible idea, right? And that's what stain is. To me, stain is rubbing mud all over. You were talking about the Starrett. I wanted to circle back to a conversation you and I had 20 years ago. When I very first got into woodworking, you told me I needed to pay attention to what my shop tolerances were, right? Like in my shop, what's my shop tolerance? And I was like, oh, quarter inch is fine, right? Like quarter inch, quarter inches, I don't care. If quarter inch is gonna be great. And I was just building stuff in pine. Now I'm down to something like a 32nd of an inch bugs me. right? I have refined my tolerance for what is your shop tolerance.
And how fast you want to go. I mean, that's the big thing. And are you framing or are you finishing?
Right.
Like those are the questions.
Well, and I was talking in class the other day about the difference between being a carpenter and being a fine woodworker. Like carpenters use hammers, and a fine woodworker, we have a mallet, right? We're gonna have a nice wood mallet that's got buckshot on the middle of it to make it heavy, but we got a wooden mallet because we would never use a hammer. A hammer is not a tool.
That's the thing for
Oh,
gross people.
Correct.
I can't
Okay.
share.
Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Here, I'll send it back to you here. Sorry. I didn't think about that. Hosting tools. I apologize. I'm pulling a lead on you now.
No worries.
Okay.
What?
Do that whole
Wait,
glass.
why was there technology insult embedded there for me when I wasn't even the one who did it?
I know. So you're talking about the tool, and these are the stools I just built, right? Hard to see the Virginia Tech logo, but one says Virginia Tech, the other one says George Mason.
That's spectacular, brother. Did you build the table as well?
No,
Okay.
uh, that was a use. I thought I was going to, well, on that project, when I was scraping epoxy and stuff, that I'd use this guy,
Yeah. Yeah, that guy's
right?
great.
But it's got no burl, dude.
Pull
It's
the other
square.
side out. Pull the other side out.
This,
You run
it's
your
square. It says in the box that it's prepared square.
No, it's not prepared square. It's prepared sharp. There's a tiny little fingernail burl on the end.
Use your teeth. Test it with your teeth.
No, it's not even a mil. I mean, it'd be a couple mils, right? I mean, it'd be, 5 mil, 10
No,
mil.
no. 10 mil is a centimeter.
But I can rub it on my fingers and it's not
10
doing
mil is
anything.
not a centimeter.
10 millimeter, right? How much is a
No,
millimeter?
no, 10, I'm
10
sorry, 10 thou of an inch.
Yeah, 10 mil is 10 thousandths of an inch.
It's like the burl on a knife, right? Like when you sharpen a knife.
Wait. I want to back up. I want to make sure I'm understanding life correctly. A mil is at how much?
I'm sorry, a mil is a tenth of a thousandth of an inch,
Is it
right?
really?
Yeah.
I
Well, I
thought,
mean, sorry. That's a tenth. A mil is something different. I'm sorry.
I
It's
thought
part
of,
of the
I, so
millimeters.
I thought a mil was a millimeter.
Yeah.
And that's not right?
Let's
No, we got to go on YouTube now. Well, you guys
I
are getting
know,
me all
right?
confused. I thought I knew that a mil was a thousandth of an inch, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's a thou.
No. Right. But I'm a carpenter, so what do I know?
He uses a hammer. He puts his table saw in his truck, right? Like a table saw in a truck. So Steven's now quickly researching for us. This is excellent. And the home audience is waiting to find out the answer. What is a mil?
A mil is a thousandth of an inch.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. One
Hey, you
thousandth of an
kids,
inch.
I've been trying to tell you kids that it's a thousandth of an inch now for an hour or something here.
I'm very sorry. I actually thought I had sent you one that had the edge already put on it. I gave you a homework project then. You've got to find a burnisher and put an edge on it.
Yep. Hang on. Are you still recording?
I thought it came with a prepared edge.
No, but that's normal. It's very normal for it to come with a square edge.
So I care about it because when I buy the gooseneck ones, I don't want to have to sharpen the gooseneck one. So it's just cheaper to buy it than it is to put the hour into sharpening it.
Gotcha. It takes an hour to sharpen?
For the gooseneck ones, because you're getting down in all the corners and you have to roll around. No, the one that you're talking about, the one that I sent you, will take 5 minutes
What
to
is this
sharpen.
podcast even about? I can't figure it out.
Did Led get one of these?
Yes. Yeah, and he said he took it out to the garage.
Yeah, I took it out to the garage and touched a piece of pie with it, but I did definitely not test if it had a burl on it.
It's supposed to
No.
have a tiny little burl on the end, and it says prepared versatile, leaves a smooth rate. Oh, Steven wins. It says ready to burnish. It says
So
ready.
let's see. So Led won on the mill.
Yeah.
Steven wins on the burnisher,
I
and
just-
Matthew wins for having sent us such a cool tool. So
Anyway, so
we're all winners. I'm
So-
going to send you a tiny trophy.
Steven, when you get to your maker space, they're going to have a burnisher. and the
They do. I
burnish.
already ran it down. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then you just put it in the vise and you run it off at about a 15-degree angle to
Yep.
cause the burl to happen. And you run it back and forth. It'll take 5 or 10 strokes with
I
the burnisher to create it.
I have to say that I did watch a YouTube video or two on that.
And why not? Why not?
You guys are the best. All right. So when we get to our March podcast, we'll check back in and see how you all are doing with your card scrapers. Any,
So interestingly enough, next to the burnisher on the workbench that we have at the community shop, there is like this collection of card scrapers or edge scrapers. It's like this like shoebox full of them, right? It's really not a shoebox, but they like somebody's gone through and thought like whatever shape I want to scrape, I've created a French curve for that shape.
okay.
And
So,
now you'll notice the beautiful roll which we've put in this piece of custom trim that I've made 78 feet of.
okay.
No, I haven't hung it in my house yet, but I enjoy making the trim.
Okay, so the collector guys actually have all of these trim planes. They're the wooden body planes, and they've got their knives cut out to put the quarter round in or that.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and they just have their pile of these wooden body planes that do exactly what Steven's talking about, which is they have every single shape you could ever want, and they just have a different plane for each one of them to put the edge on for their base molding or for their crown molding or their chair rail or whatever it is.
Is this the same guy that has all of his electric screwdrivers up in a row?
So I told you, so I went to see the CNC guy, and instead of changing out drill bits, he literally just has 15 of the exact same drill running on the same battery, and he never changes the thing in the chuck, right? Because I don't have time for that. I am not going to take the time to change something in the chuck of my drill. I'm going to buy a second or a third, or in this case, a 20th drill. Because there's no point. I lose my efficiency. I can be way more efficient if I just have the right things chucked up already.
Same thing with the plane and the different shapes. I've got it chucked up, ready to go.
Right? It's already in there. Who would ever change a plain blade? That's silly. Steven, how is sharpening going? Are you keeping your knife sharp?
Medium. No, I haven't. I should do it more often. I probably do it once a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
What homeowner has ever said that before? You know, I should do that more often.
Yeah, exactly.
I should change the oil in my car. I should.
Well, back in the day, the guy would come through the neighborhood, right? He'd have his knife sharpening cart and he would come through and work his way across the neighborhood.
I remember that. I remember that.
And then there was also the melon cart when we would go down to the beach. And there was the fruit guy who would come by in the morning singing about the melon or whatever. You get that from.
Lopes, right?
Yeah, it was really good.
Hey, we're running up on time here, so
Stephen, great topic. This was a point on. I think we've helped our users today. I think that our users should find this super helpful. Led, could we get in our
sold a couple Dalits? We need a sponsor now.
So in NASCAR, they have this thing called chug points, right? So as a driver, when you win something, if you drink out of the special Gatorade bottle or the Pepsi bottle, they give you chug points for advertising their drink as the thing you drink after you win the race. So Led is definitely winning the chug points for these drop-in sponsorships.
Nice.
What are you saying, Matt?
I'm just saying, dow it. Listen to the precision. Yeah, the two cherries, prepared edge, square, prepared square. Yeah.
Made in
The
Germany.
Spanish thing. Now he wore the hat. You got to give him that. He had the big hat in Highlander and in both of those movies.
Yeah.
Super big hat. Did a great job. Pulled that off. The accent, I don't know, man.
All right. We're turning it off. I'm turning off recording. It's done.